Well, I would attack, not personally, but I would attack the premise of that question.
That person will be...
Jagmeet Singh's tenure as leader of the New Democratic Party, NDP, has been a turbulent journey marked by moments of promise, but also by significant challenges. As Canada faces mounting crises in affordability, housing, and climate change, Singh has attempted to position himself as a leader who can deliver solutions. His latest proposals, such as eliminating GST on essentials, taxing excess corporate profits, and addressing the housing crisis, have captured public attention. However, these policies have been met with skepticism, not only for their practicality but also for their timing and Singh's apparent contradictions. To understand the complexities of Singh's leadership, one must first consider his track record. When he first emerged on the national stage, Singh brought a fresh, progressive voice to Canadian politics. As the first person of color to lead a major federal party in Canada, his election represented a historic moment. His platform, centered on social justice, equality, and environmental sustainability, resonated with many voters seeking an alternative to the status quo. However, as the years have passed, Singh's ability to deliver on these promises has been called into question. Singh's recent push to make life more affordable for Canadians highlights these contradictions. His proposal to eliminate GST on essentials like heating, internet bills, and children's needs initially seemed like a win for everyday Canadians. Yet, upon closer inspection, it became evident that many of these items, such as groceries, were already GST exempt. This oversight raised questions about the seriousness of Singh's plan. Was this an attempt to repackage existing policy as a new initiative, or did it reveal a deeper lack of attention to detail within his team? Implementing such a policy is not without its challenges. Businesses would need to adapt their systems to account for the changes, and the government would need to ensure compliance. Without a robust enforcement mechanism, there is a risk that these savings might not be passed on to consumers, undermining the policy's intended impact. Moreover, Singh's plan to fund this initiative through an excess profit tax on corporations has drawn criticism from economists and industry leaders alike. The idea of taxing excess profits resonates with many who feel that corporations have reaped undue rewards during times of crisis, such as the COVID-19 pandemic. However, defining excess profit is inherently subjective. What qualifies as excessive? Would this tax apply uniformly across all industries, or would some sectors, such as technology or pharmaceuticals, face higher thresholds? Critics argue that such ambiguity could deter investment, prompting companies to relocate to countries with more favorable tax regimes. With the United States poised to introduce pro-business policies under Donald Trump, Canada risks losing its competitive edge. Singh's proposal, while well-intentioned, may inadvertently harm the economy, undermining the very affordability it seeks to promote. The timing of Singh's affordability push also raises questions. For years, he supported Trudeau's carbon tax, a policy that has disproportionately impacted low- and middle-income Canadians. Framed as a necessary step to combat climate change, the carbon tax has increased the cost of essentials like gas and heating, placing a significant financial burden on families. Singh's sudden focus on affordability, after years of endorsing policies that contributed to rising costs, feels opportunistic to many. Is this a genuine shift in priorities, or merely a strategic move to distance himself from Trudeau ahead of the next election? The housing crisis provides another lens through which to examine Singh's leadership. His promise to double Canada's community housing stock and ban corporate landlords from purchasing rental properties reflects his commitment to addressing the issue. Yet, as with his affordability proposals, these plans are riddled with unanswered questions. How would such a ban be enforced? Would it apply to foreign buyers, or only to domestic corporations? And what about individual investors who purchase properties to rent? Critics have pointed out that Singh's housing plan fails to address some of the root causes of the crisis. For instance, Trudeau's immigration policy, which has brought in record numbers of newcomers without ensuring adequate housing supply, has strained an already overburdened market. Singh's reluctance to confront this issue directly suggests a hesitance to challenge Liberal policies too aggressively, likely due to his party's reliance on Trudeau for legislative support. Innovative solutions to the housing crisis, such as incentivizing private sector development or investing in technologies like 3D printed homes, have largely been absent from Singh's proposals. These methods could offer faster, more cost-effective solutions than government-led construction projects. By focusing on traditional approaches, Singh risks overlooking opportunities to make a tangible impact on the housing market. Climate change, a cornerstone of Singh's platform, presents another area of contradiction. His proposals to electrify home heating systems, invest in renewable energy, and build climate-resilient infrastructure are ambitious but lack the detail needed to inspire confidence. For families already struggling with high utility bills, the idea of transitioning to electric heating feels like an additional burden rather than a solution. Moreover, Singh's continued support for carbon taxes undermines his credibility on this issue. How can he claim to champion affordability while endorsing policies that drive up costs for Canadians? Adding to the skepticism is Singh's association with figures like Mark Carney, a former Bank of Canada governor with ties to heat pump investments included in Singh's climate plan. This connection has fueled accusations that Singh's policies prioritize the interests of elites over those of ordinary Canadians. For a public already disillusioned with Trudeau's perceived coziness with corporate interests, Singh's ties to influential figures raise concerns about the authenticity of his climate agenda. Singh's broader leadership struggles are perhaps most evident in his public appearances. His frequent stumbles during interviews, such as his inability to articulate what he cherishes most about being Canadian, have reinforced the perception that he is unprepared and disconnected. These moments, while seemingly minor, compound a larger issue: Singh's inability to present a coherent vision for Canada's future. His vague and repetitive responses to questions about foreign policy only exacerbate this problem, highlighting a lack of depth in his understanding of complex issues. The relationship between Singh and Trudeau further complicates his leadership narrative. Through the Supply and Confidence Agreement, Singh has effectively kept the Liberal government in power, allowing Trudeau to pursue controversial policies while securing minor wins for the NDP. While Singh defends the agreement as a means of advancing progressive goals, many Canadians see it differently. To them, it represents a political arrangement that prioritizes party interests over the needs of voters. Conservative leaders have capitalized on this perception, branding Singh as a pension politician more concerned with securing his financial future than standing up for Canadians. These attacks resonate with voters who see Singh's sudden pivot to affordability as a desperate attempt to salvage his political credibility. The notion that Singh spent years enabling Trudeau's policies, only to criticize them now, reinforces the view that he is more of a follower than a leader. As Singh's campaign struggles to gain traction, Canadians are left with a sense of frustration and fatigue. His grand promises and lofty rhetoric mirror the same political theater they have grown tired of under Trudeau. The lack of actionable solutions, combined with a history of contradictions and political alliances, leaves voters disillusioned. For a country grappling with rising costs, unaffordable housing, and an uncertain future, Singh's leadership feels like more of the same. In the end, Singh's inability to break free from his past and present a compelling vision for Canada's future costs him the opportunity to truly lead. His campaign, while filled with bold promises, fails to address the root causes of the challenges facing Canadians. Instead of offering real solutions, Singh's rhetoric serves as a reminder of the political status quo, a status quo that many Canadians are desperate to change.